Welcome to Results Will Vary, a good, bad, and ugly advice show. My name is Russell Bates, advice expert, wunderkind, and bad bitch. Thank you so much for coming back. This is the second episode, so I guess I didn't give you like an ick, but this is the second episode. We will hopefully do good enough to bring you back. But anyway, my co-counsel today, my advice experts, are two very great friends of mine. First, we have Josh Katz. Katz? Is that how you pronounce your name?
Where'd you throw the R in there?
All right. First, all right. First, we have Josh Katz. Say
It's
hello.
Katz. Oh, hi.
Okay, gotcha.
It's Josh
All right, 1
Katz.
second.
No, okay, you can run it back. Run it back.
All right. Today we have Josh Katz. Hello.
Yes, hello. Nice to talk to all the
Hi.
podcast listeners.
I didn't put an R in the first time, so that's good.
Yes, I really hope you keep in all of the mispronunciations of my name because my parents are gonna love to hear that when this comes out. I also was not though I mean that genuinely, they'll find it very funny. I also was not expecting the bad bitch at the end of the intro. That one really got me. So I think you definitely need to keep that one in.
If it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and walks like a duck, then it is a duck.
Then it is a bad bitch.
And we have Aadill Patel.
Hello. Yes, we all know that the main quality of a duck is, in fact, how much of a bad bitch it is, and vice versa. The overlap, pretty high.
Thank you guys so much. Would you say you've been given good advice in your life?
Honestly, hard to say.
Like people have given me good advice or I've given out good advice?
Both.
Both. I would say people have given me some decent advice in my life. I have maybe given 3 pieces of good advice in my life, which is why I was hesitant to agree to this podcast.
I give great advice.
We had a long contract negotiation with Josh there. With Josh. I can't even say your first name. Okay.
Did you add an R in there too?
Josh.
Josh Katz.
Well, yeah, I mean, yes. There's actually one piece of advice that I hold truest in my heart, and that is there's a million doors to happiness, but if you use someone else's, you're fucked.
Oh.
Which is
Woo.
a beautiful contradictory piece of advice that says don't take other people's advice, and I love it.
That's very good. Well, speaking of don't take other people's advice, don't do this for this one. This is a good, bad, and advice podcast. So especially don't do the bad advice, the ugly advice. Maybe do the good advice. We'll see. But take everything with a Mediterranean grain of salt. All right, everybody? But so how
That's
the show
high quality
works.
salt.
So how the show works is that we have 3 questions, and me and my co-advisors will be rotating, and one giving a good piece of advice to the answer, one giving a bad piece of advice to the answer, and one giving an ugly piece of advice to answer. So I would say, without further ado, let's get helping people. Are we ready?
So ready.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get on to the first question. Dear Results Will Vary. The heater in my apartment only does so much to keep me warm. What are some other ways to fight the cold this winter? Okay.
Ooh, that is a very common problem we have out here in Chicago. I, for one, I like it cold in my apartment. And what I found to be like a nice reprieve from when it gets a little too cold is just like wearing like hoodies and sweats and some like thicker socks in the winter. It's a lot cheaper than paying for more heating in your apartment or like cranking up the heating when it's in the cold.
I have like a little heater, just like a extremely
Oh,
small
like a space heater?
Yeah, like a space heater. When I saw my electricity bill for the first time, I was like, oh, so that's why all the lights get dimmer when
that thing
heater
runs.
It runs. Do you have any like long johns?
No, I've been thinking of investing in some like leggings for like outdoor exercise in the cold because I just have like really thick pairs of athletic pants that are probably better for like snowboarding or skiing, literally winter activities.
Mm-hmm.
So I just bought a new house, and
Are
the
you in it right
windows,
now?
I'm in it right now. Thank you. The windows are terribly insulated. And there's this like plastic wrap that you can buy and put around the windows and like seal in with a like a hair dryer that really improves the insulation during the winter. Check it out. It's like $30 combo.
Have you done that?
I will be. My neighbors do.
It's not winter yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, Josh, do you have any other sort of advice?
Yeah, I guess for the work from home fellows, fellows and fellas listening to the podcast, get yourself some fingerless gloves. That way you can click clack on your keyboard when your hands are a little chilly in the morning. I do have a pair of gloves that I wear when it's too cold, but I don't want to raise the heat.
That's a great idea.
It's actually really nice.
It's actually a
I
great
got
idea.
them. I made them. Well, okay. I didn't buy fingerless gloves. I bought like $3 gloves from CVS, and then
then
I
you cut
nipped
them?
then I cut off the fingertips for an Ash Ketchum costume. But I wear those gloves the most frequently in my house. I don't wear them out, if you can believe
I
that.
also have fingerless gloves for an Ash Ketchum costume.
But I will say some bad advice. I would go even one step further. I would only wear an Ash Ketchum costume in your apartment because that will keep you very well insulated.
Yeah, I mean he's got the hat on, which is going to keep you lose most of your body heat through your head anyways. So as long as you got a thick Ash Ketchum hat, a famous Ash Ketchum thick hat, you're going to be so nice and toasty. You're going to want to open the windows.
And if you have a Pikachu, you can power your heater no problem.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Like a real Pikachu.
Like a real Pikachu. You don't need to worry about the electricity bill.
I would go outside, grab the nearest squirrel, spray paint them yellow, run some.
Okay, Pikachu is a mouse. Pikachu is a mouse. I hate to cut you off there, but Pikachu is a mouse, in fact.
Okay.
All right, get a mouse, spray paint it yellow, and see if that gives it lightning power.
Yeah,
and
and then
if that doesn't work, keep trying.
Stick its tail into the electrical outlet and see what results you get from that.
Yeah, and plus the steam and fire within Ash Ketchum to catch them all, it's really gonna create a furnace in your heart.
We gotta consider his burning passion to catch them all.
Worm yourself through ambition alone, of course.
It's a cold winter morning. You wake up, you get dressed as Ash Ketchum, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you think, how could I ever freeze over? I'm gonna catch them all.
Do the whole poker rap.
I mean, you can cut open a Snorlax and kind of go Luke Skywalker on him.
Oh, yeah. You could.
Yeah, that is, so Snorlax is like a fat bear. So just wait for Fat Bear Week to come around and hunt down one of those fuckers. Cut them open, bring them into your house.
Just climb into the mouth of any bear.
I think mainly become a Pokemon trainer.
Turn into Ash Ketchum. But Aadill, what's some ugly advice?
Yeah, here's the best advice you're ever gonna get.
The worst advice you'll ever get
is temperature. Right?
So true.
But we don't actually care about solving the temperature of the world. We care about solving the temperature in our minds.
Okay.
That's where suffering lies, right? So the goal is, how do you experience the least amount of suffering through the coldness as possible? So I recommend frying all the nerves in your body. And then there is no cold to be had.
Is that
like on a frying pan?
Medical procedure you can endeavor? Or is it a frying pan?
Or is it a frying pan?
With drugs. I believe this is achievable through the power of drugs.
Interesting.
Okay.
You just pound ibuprofen. Just cut the signal of your body saying cold equal bad. You cut that and you're good.
Yeah, you don't need to worry about temperature ever again. Now, you did compel me when you said we're not trying to worry about temperature anymore, like on a global basis. I think we need to worry more about the temperature on a global basis.
You're right. The other angle.
You need to pollute like fucking crazy.
Yes.
In fact, you need to run like 8 different cars all the time in front of your apartment. Eventually, and it's already happening now, but it's not fast enough. This winter's still going to be a little cold. Let's get this global warming going.
I would go one step further and don't have the cars outside your apartment. Put the cars inside your apartment and run them.
Oh, it might limit how much of the methane
it will
gas
fry
it
will fry your brain.
It will fry your nerves. It will heat up the planet.
2 for 1.
Cover both of our bases.
Nuke the oil fields.
Yeah.
and really seal in the juices on planet
All
Earth.
this hot air
The
escaping through our
juices.
atmosphere.
Absolutely
We gotta
not.
keep that shit
Keep that
in
shit in.
here. Keep that shit in. We're all gonna be warm.
You ain't taking my gases.
That's how we solve everybody's problem instead
Yeah.
of just yours.
You
See,
think you're
if
the
we were
only
being
one?
selfish.
You think you're the only one who's cold in the winter?
Exactly.
Pollute more.
Pollute more.
Care
Pollute
about
more.
your neighbor. Pollute more, okay?
Nature's for the birds and the bees. Let's make the world 500 degrees. Let's go.
Do you think like Ash Ketchum contributes to the global pollution crisis?
I mean, there are
Not
definitely some
enough.
Pokemon that like release a lot of gas.
Well, like the
There's
smog
volcano
guy.
Pokemon.
Yeah, wheezing, coughing,
Magmar.
Magmar. That guy's just. I mean, he's hot.
He's just a volcano person.
Do you think there's a Pokemon PETA?
They're actually kind of no, that's not. It's not that how it works. So PETA like
No, that's
made
not
their
how
own.
it works.
No, I was thinking the other way around. That there was a PETA in Pokemon, which there kind of is. I want to say one of the like evil teams was like the Pokemon PETA, which is kind of funny. But like PETA also made their own Pokemon like Flash game about like about like dogfighting as like Pokemon were dogfighting.
Which Pokemon would make the best Pokemon PETA?
Like, wait, which Pokemon would be the best leader of Pokemon PETA?
No, to be a PETA chip.
Oh,
A PETA chip.
there's a lot of food Pokemon, but I don't know if any of them are carb based.
You're right. There's the ice cream. Well, the ice cream Pokemon is a carb, right?
That's a carb, but I'm not gonna dip ice cream in hummus.
Dipping ice cream in hummus.
Who thought dipping ice cream in hummus? God, I'm running through all of the food Pokemon. There are a lot of them are like sweet.
Run through the
treats.
rap. Run through the Pokemon
The
rap. real
Pokemon
quick.
rap? No, I mean we got Vanillish, we got Vanillice, we got like Swirlix, and
How is there not a pizza Pokemon?
no, there is
Pizza
no
Pokemon.
Huge opportunity.
All
guys.
right,
What
we
are
need to
doing?
start pizza Pokemon. There isn't any name on this question because I didn't write one because these
Also,
are
it's
totally
anonymous.
real. It's
Anonymous
just an
is a great
anonymous tip.
Yeah, it's an
Um,
anonymous submission. They don't want to be known.
But we really hope we helped you with all this wonderfully awful advice. So are we ready to start the next one, boys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I think we can just say that we got him from someone named Jared for this
Yes.
episode. We're helping Jared.
Hey, Jared, this one goes out to you, man. Just know in your heart to catch them all, okay? All right, let's get on to our next question. So for this question, Aadill will be giving the good advice, Josh will be giving the bad advice, and I will be giving the ugly advice. Let's get on to it. Dear results will vary. I'm looking to cut coffee out of my diet. What are some other ways I can caffeinate myself and boost my energy in the morning? We big coffee boys here?
We are, but we
Nope.
also have. Oh, you are not. I am
No,
a big
not
coffee
huge.
boy.
No, I drink mostly tea if I
Mhm.
like need caffeine in the morning. Coffee's more of a sweet treat for me.
Espresso always makes my legs jitter. Like it always. I got ADHD already, so I do tea.
Doo-doo.
But that's
You
some
should-
ugly
you shouldn't
advice I will
drink
give.
doo-doo tea.
Doo-doo tea will
Never-
come later for the ugly
Doo-doo
advice.
tea's not very good. Doo-doo tea's not very good.
Anyway, Aadill, you like coffee, but what would you say?
So actually, Josh has got a great point here, right? There's a lot of things you can do outside of coffee, like tea. But I actually think that for like a consistently awake, vital life, the move is to move away from caffeine.
Mhm.
I recommend
Despite
slowly
being a big coffee boy.
despite being a big coffee boy. Yeah, like so I would sometimes cut caffeine so that when I need the caffeine to do its work, then you take that cup of coffee and it really gives you the boost for like the few times in life that you need it. So I would
Yeah.
recommend drinking lots of water, starting off with tea and working your way down a little bit in how much caffeine you take, and you'll find that you'll generally be more vital, alert, and awake, and you'll be able to approach life with more presence.
Yeah, drinking water immediately when you wake up or eating a banana. Even last night, I did have a banana by my pillow's side. I know
For
that
the
sounds weird.
morning?
Yeah, for the
Or
morning, because that's the hardest. Okay, hey, chill.
no, 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 no,
Okay,
no.
guys,
What's hard about it? I want to hear what's hard about it.
it's not it's not hard.
You
It's
said it
just
was
a,
the hardest something.
oh, okay. The banana is there as a sweet little treat as soon as I wake up. Okay,
Mm.
Okay, yeah.
that's the hardest part. That trot to like the coffee machine or that trot to like
Yeah.
tea or that even just trot to realize your own existence. That's the hardest
Hmm.
part of your day. But if you have like a little banana
Yeah,
on the side of your bed,
you're
I'm
laughing.
not even joking.
Now that you've explained it, I get it. That makes sense.
Bananas are
It's
underrated.
I think bananas are quite good. I also agree with like starting before you even have coffee, you drink a glass of water.
Hmm.
Like I make this green juice mix. It's like a green powder with greens and like some fiber supplement. And I make sure I drink that before I even have caffeine in the morning.
The really smart thing about that is it's also a little bit of food. It's like water
Mhm.
and food. It really slows down how quickly your body consumes the caffeine. So like one of the reasons people have the big crash at 2 is because they take this big, they if they take coffee on an empty stomach, you metabolize all of it right away, and then it all leaves right away. But
Mhm.
if you consume it if you have something in your stomach before, or you consume it slowly, you get a gradual increase and gradual decrease of.
Okay. Yeah, that's but
So
go for the
coffee's
banana.
a sin. Go
Yeah,
for a
coffee is
banana and water.
yeah, go for a banana. But coffee is a sin, Josh. Is this some bad advice I'm hearing? Coffee's a
Yeah, well,
sin.
so a lot of people would tell you, quit caffeine. You got to replace it with some harder drug or whatever, like do coke. That's not, we're cutting all drugs out of our system because our brain already produces all the drugs we need to keep us energized and alert and active. So what I'm recommending is you go out. I don't know how you're going to find it. That's not part of the advice. Find some sort of wild animal and get a time release cage and put it in your bedroom. When your alarm goes off, so does this wild animal.
Yep.
And now of course, I'm going to mention you're going to cover yourself in meat, like smelling meats like jerky or something. This wild
Salami.
animal it's probably salami, maybe some smoked salami all over your body. As soon as your alarm goes off, you know that there's a wild animal that's ready to eat not only you, but also the salami that's on top of you. There's no banana here. And your adrenaline is going to go through the
What?
roof in the morning
Yep. Yep.
because you're on the hunt.
You on the hunt?
Did our ancestors survive on caffeine in the morning? No, they were afraid they're going to get eaten by a wild animal.
Kill or be killed.
Kill or
Yeah.
be killed. Oh, that's such a good point. You have to kill
You
the
have to
wild
kill it.
animal
You have to kill it
before
to
it
survive.
kills you.
Yeah, and drink its blood.
You could drink its blood. You definitely could. And again, there's some water and blood. We're still trying to
We're
abide by that. Maybe drink a glass of water before the blood of the animal. Okay, just to get a
Yeah,
little something in the system.
But fundamentally, we're substituting murder for caffeine.
It's more it's
it's
fight or
an
flight.
adrenaline
Fight or
rush
flight.
for sure.
But
Yeah.
you gotta kill it. You
You
gotta
are
You
kill
got
it.
it.
on immediately.
Or you run away. I'm not gonna say you have to kill the animal,
Well,
but you
that's why
have
there's
to.
fight.
I'm
You
gonna
That's why
say
there's
either
that.
gotta
fight.
you gotta fight or you gotta flight. Imagine you're at your first work meeting and Sandra comes up to you and she's like, "Oh, haven't had my glass of coffee today." You look her dead in the eye and say, "I haven't had coffee in 3 years." You know why? Because I've killed 4 raccoons.
Kill
And,
four
and
raccoons.
Sandra will never bother you with her coffee problems ever
Very
again.
good. Yeah, you gotta make your way up. In the opposite way of weaning yourself from caffeine to tea to water, you gotta start with like a rat to a raccoon to a cougar to a bear.
You
You gotta make your
build
way up.
and then end on a moose, the last megafauna on land.
If you're on moose, you're good. You have. If you're on moose, you're good.
Sounds like a drug. But this is not a drug, as we established at the
Not a
top of
drug.
the advice. No
Drugs are
drugs.
sin. Drugs are sin.
Don't do drugs, kid. Eat your water and stay in school. All right, that's great. I think that's incredibly bad advice. But first off, as we said I said in the beginning, doo-doo tea. I don't think I have to
Mhm.
explain that.
No, no, no.
We can just call that one a wash. But there's a lot of things with hypermasculine men. They always love cold plunges.
Oh, yeah,
Some
yeah, yeah.
cold plunges. Immediately when they wake up, they're like, I have to get as cold as possible in my tidy whities.
Yeah, that's like an alpha like
Yeah, for
billionaire
sure.
like my morning routine thing all the time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see where you're coming from.
We can really embrace this by moving your bed to the middle of the Arctic and doing a cold plunge into the frigid ice every single day. You can also pair that with the polar bear, you rushing in. You get their
Mm.
adrenaline up, Josh's advice, and then you jump into the freezing water. Maybe you find an orca, and then you're really awake.
Then you're definitely gonna wake up. So you're saying the worst advice is just moving to the Arctic where the you don't have to catch the wild animals anymore. You're just in the wild
There
They
you
now.
just
go.
happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Escape the need for caffeine by breaking the cycle of civilization entirely.
Oh, yeah,
Brilliant.
I was just a mere step in that direction and we've went the full way. Like the only reason
Yeah.
people need coffee is because of their 9 to 5 shit job.
We just want you to successfully kill wild animals first thing in the morning
Yeah, yeah.
consistently.
If you move to the Arctic and you survive out there and you're killing wild animals and you're waking up, you can have a hot coffee once in a while. You know what? It's a treat. You deserve it.
Well, hang on. I feel like there's something more to explore with breaking the need for the 9 to 5 to reduce the need for caffeine. We need to burn civilization to the ground. That's the
All of it.
problem. Capitalism dictates that we be productive for 8 hours a day, but we're not built for it.
Mm-mm.
Screw the system. The way to break your need for caffeine and everyone's need for caffeine is
It's a
to
violent
upend
revolution. Violent
exactly,
revolution. Well, there's a violent revolution is the answer because once we uproot capitalism, then we don't need to be productive for 8 hours a day.
exactly.
Hence, no need for caffeine anymore. Although that's going to take a lot of planning and a lot of early mornings, so you might want to have a little bit of coffee going into it.
But you will have been more trained for the violent revolution than anyone else because you've been killing wild animals first thing in the
Every
morning.
morning, yeah.
Yeah.
I think also start bean picking. Move down to Colombia. There's a lot of coffee and cocoa beans down there, and a lot of them are shipped up here. So I would say go down to Colombia and start getting a
A
stockpile
wildfire?
of all. No, start stockpiling
Oh,
all the coffee beans you can, and then you have all the coffee. And hey, you can drink a cup of coffee sometime. You have all the
Yeah,
coffee in
you
the
look at
world.
you grabbed all the coffee in the world. That's a
oh,
lot of
you,
work. You get a
you
little
could be the
treat.
Mad Max guy who owns
All the
the
water,
the water,
but
but the
instead it's
calf
all the coffee beans.
exactly.
But and the thing is, you can also not drink the coffee because there's no binds to capitalism anymore.
Exactly.
So I guess our advice is train yourself by fighting wild animals to be able to overthrow the roots of capitalism in our world today.
And also have a banana by your bed.
And have
And
a
have a
banana by
banana
bread
And
every
also
bread,
morning.
yeah.
have a banana by your bed.
By
Okay.
bed
And drink
every
water first thing in the morning also.
Yes. All right, guys. This is some wonderful, terrible advice. I think we should get moving on. For this next question, I will be giving the good advice, Aadill will be giving the bad advice, and Josh will be giving the ugly advice. All right, we ready? All right.
Mhm.
Hail and well met ye, results will vary.
I like this guy's
Yeah.
gumption.
This guy plays
What
D&D.
what are some ways I can become a better D&D player and game master?
Nailed
My
it.
f- my friends my friends say they wait, okay. My friends say they hate playing with me, but I'm the only one who owns a basement. And it says in parentheses here, huff my short Trevor.
What does it say? I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Off my short
Fuck
Trevor.
it, fuck it, fuck it. No, I was trying to write a bit at the end. Fuck it. It's getting cut. All right. All right. So Jared wants to become a better D&D player. Okay.
His friends hate playing with him.
Whatever.
But he wants to get better. So
Okay.
we can work with that.
Maybe get better
I was
friends.
I was trying to be funny, but I fucked it up. All right. Anyway,
I think we can't really answer this question without explaining what D&D is to the audience because they might not have the context for it. Or is everyone that's listening going to have context for it? You know what I mean? I feel like you.
I wasn't thinking about that. All right. D&D is how would you guys explain it?
D&D is a collective storytelling game where one person, the dungeon master, represents the world of the story, and all of the players represent the main characters in that story. Typically, it's a fantasy adventure that culminates in the defeat of some great evil.
So yeah, it's a commutative game.
Yeah.
So I would say I don't have very much experience in D&D. I only did one campaign and I did a one shot with these boys. But I wouldn't say I was a very great player because I dominated the space quite a lot. So what I would say is yeah, give and take, give and take.
Yeah, I would say I think give and take's a very good, reasonable advice. I think important things for people getting into D&D who are like used to playing games, like board games where there's a winner and a loser, is don't try to win D&D. Try to have fun and tell a story. Your character's not the main character. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna beat your DM. You're working with your DM. And
Mhm.
so once you overcome that kind of hurdle, it's going to make the game a lot more fun for everyone to play.
And I think one of the things that makes it the easiest to understand how you fit into a table is as a player and as a DM. This is advice for both. Learn to love the scenes you are not in.
Oh, I love
Learn to
that.
That's
just
Yeah.
very good.
sit back and enjoy how everyone else at the table is playing.
What's some good advice for game masters?
So I think the big thing is when you're going to run a campaign, you have your session 0 to figure out what it is that your players want. And when you know what they want, then you can write a story that is sort of you can craft an environment that's kind of around them. And if you do that, you're going to run into way less problems. Sometimes you'll have a group that has one person who just cares about combat. And if that person doesn't get combat, they're just going to start killing people randomly because they wanted
Murder
combat and you
hobo?
didn't give it to them.
Mhm.
That's how murder hobos happen. It's not because they're living out of power. Well, it's partially because they're living out of power fantasy, but it's because we didn't give them enough things to murder
To
that they
hit
wanted to murder.
that they're supposed to murder.
Right.
I would say as a DM, feel like communicate. I mean, in all relationships, communication is very important. But like, I have a DM who will like every couple of sessions be like, "How are you guys enjoying it? What is there anything I can improve on?" As for me, like when I was a DM, I was getting very exhausted from doing like weekly sessions to the point where I had to let my players know, like, we need to space this out a bit more. So don't be afraid. You're not going to let your players down. It's important that the players and everyone in the group understands that the DM is like doing probably 90%, like, no, probably let's say 300% more work than everyone else is
Combined. Yeah.
combined. So cut them some slack when one of my DMs says like he needs to end early or he can't do that night. I don't be upset, don't complain. Just say thank you and appreciate what they're doing for you.
Mhm.
All right, that's some good
It is
advice.
really hard.
Respect your dungeon masters. Pay it
That's why
forward.
I
Tip your
only
dungeon
do one
masters.
shots.
Tip your
Yeah,
dungeon masters.
honestly, if you've been playing in a long campaign, get them like a gift. We got
Mhm.
my friend. We all chipped in to buy him like a giant softball sized D100 metal D100, which is so fun.
My
That's
my
really good.
buddy made a plaque that says world's best DM
Aww,
for our other DM. It was great.
Mhm.
that's so cute. All right, fuck what they said.
Yeah.
No,
Now,
I'm
Adele, tell
joking.
us how you really feel.
I do.
Yes.
How do you
All
really
right,
feel?
shit. Well, gotta ground myself with the question again. How do I get better at being a DM? Yeah. It is rare in life that you get the opportunity to play out a fantasy.
Okay.
I don't like where this is going.
I mean, on certain websites you can do that, but I guess that's a
Yes.
question for another day.
And this is the perfect opportunity to do so. I understand that you are at a table with other people, but you don't get this shot very often. What if you want to be the guy who takes over the world? Come on, when else are you going to get the chance? Play it out,
Okay.
give it a shot. You know, maybe other people had a plan for the direction things were going, but is it not more interesting if you are the villain at the table?
Mhm. Not the villain, the hero. You
The
just
hero!
Yeah.
The hero! It's fine.
everyone else are helping you along your way to becoming the most powerful person in this world.
Exactly.
What's the most askew a campaign has gone? from you guys? Somebody gone like total fantasy dictator mode?
I don't have too many like horrible player stories because a lot of them are my friends and I would just kind of like
Talk to
leave
them.
if they were being annoying. But like I definitely had to punish my players before. I gave them a cleric, like I gave them literally a heal bot because none of them wanted to play healers and they abused it horribly to the point where I eventually had him like train with some monks and they were so readily to throw away those monks and let them get killed by pirates that I'm like, well, he betrays you. He turns on you. They trained him and showed how to fight. And so, yeah, they had to kill their like quote unquote son that they revived because they were terrible people.
I haven't had many circumstances of my players or even games that I'm in going that against
Mhm.
the DM. I think I've been very fortunate to mostly live in circumstances where we're all on the same page. But I have been the person that tried to take over the world.
Oh yeah.
Okay, good,
In the
good,
last
good,
campaign I
good.
was in. Uh, but it was a politics campaign. We were a Game of Thrones house together facing.
Mm.
So like it was on theme for the campaign to be like someone's got to represent that side of the politics and I'll do it.
Yeah,
There's gotta be one of them.
get into a better room or better sort of environment for D&D. What's some good, bad
Some
places you can play D&D?
some bad places you can play D&D
I guess,
or
I
yeah.
mean,
some good.
I mean, like a mall, like a public space. Just be like, I used to play with my roommates, so it'd be so like we'd play in my apartment, and my roommate was not part of the campaign, playing online, and just yelling about like fucking dwarf politics and religions was probably so fun for him to listen to, like for 3 hours a night. So I imagine if you're like presenting that to like a public setting, everyone's gonna really love that.
We in college played in one of the like public lobby areas. It was actually super fun because
It was
sometimes people
super
would come
fun.
over and they'd like watch and ask and it's so easy to get people hooked on D&D because you look at it from 10 feet away, you're like, these guys are weirdos.
Mhm.
You look at it from 2 feet away and you're like, these guys are having a blast. It gets people into the game.
Yeah, for sure. What's some ugly advice we can give these people? Like,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So I don't know what Russell was talking about having played D&D with me before. D&D is for fucking nerds. If your friends aren't having fun playing D&D with you, they hate playing with you, you should say, good. I don't want to play this lame, nerdy fucking game. Get out of your basement, hit the fucking track, baby. Go for some runs. Cross the pigskin with the boys. Chug some beer, go to a tailgate. I don't know what you're talking about. Playing D&D, get that weak shit out of my face. I'm all about sports, baby.
Sports,
Football, basketball, hockey,
LARPing.
lacrosse. What did you say?
What did you say?
what? Yeah, LARPing. Would you say to become a better D&D player, you need to get laid?
I would say to be a better D&D player, you need to quit that stupid hobby. And yeah, in fact, get laid, get some muscle on you, drink some protein powder, live a real fucking life, dude.
I hate to say this. That is actually good advice. I'm sorry. I hate to say this. That is actually good advice. One of the challenges about loving D&D is you might make it take up too much of your life and identity, and you have to remember it's a game. You like have to remember it's a game you're playing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then go the opposite way. I would say live in live action role play
All the
24/7.
time.
Oh, LARP. Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
LARP as your character. Do not break character. This is very important.
If the cops pull you over, take your foam sword, hit them, and say slashing 7 as many times as it takes for them to die.
Once you're arrested in jail with all these other people that are arrested, you start stealing from them. You say, I rolled 24 on my stealth check. You don't see me, and try to get their wallet. No, roll perception. Roll perception. You can't see me.
You can't do that. No, you're cheating. No, you're cheating.
Try to roll a charisma check in court.
Yeah. Yeah, roll a persuasion check while you're on the stand for assaulting an officer and petty theft, and then demand a retrial. Demand a retrial and roll another persuasion check.
Holy shit,
the
that got
D&D
me.
movie from the 80s based on that, where a guy got too into D&D and like murdered his players?
No, I have no idea.
Yeah, it was back when like the
satanic scare.
panic. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's the answer. That's the worst information we're looking for. People say D&D isn't satanic. That's wrong. Traded devils to make you a better D&D player.
You're right.
That's what we're looking for.
Offer your firstborn to Asmodeus in exchange for the world's best storytelling prowess. And then don't have kids and see what happens.
Devils love to be tricked.
Devils love being tricked. They're like, great job, dude.
I'm sorry, that 7 slashing damage wiped me out.
Yeah, I've read the rules for the Chicago
I've read the rules.
Association. You pull out a foam sword.
Yeah.
You start going slashing 7.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
Glad we could help.
Holy crap. That's some great, terrible advice. Yeah, just go all in, man. Go all in or get
go all in or
fucking
go all out.
Yeah, go in or go all out. All right, I think that's the episode for today. Jesus Christ, 7 slashing damage. That's the episode for today. Thank you so much to my lovely guests here, my lovely co-advisors, Aadill and Josh. Aadill and Josh, where can people find you?
If you want to see photos of me from like 4 months ago or later, you could follow my Instagram, Joshy Katz.
Hey, you know, Josh, this is just procedure, okay? This is just procedure.
I will have to accept your friend request. If I don't know you, I probably won't.
So you can follow my improv group, Where's Jeff Improv, on Instagram for the next 2 weeks. I guess I don't know when this is. From when we recorded this.
This will be like in January. So if you're improv,
then the Second City show's gonna be done. So you can follow us at Where's Jeff Improv on Instagram, and if you want to see some stuff that I've done in the past, there is Nerdscaping, which is a podcast about deep dives into nerd culture and finding lessons to make us better people. Or you can see World Finders, a brief D&D podcast I tried many moons ago.
You guys were fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on. It truly means the world to me. And thank you for listening, everybody. With all the advice we gave, even the good one, yes, take it with a grain of salt. But if you are to take our advice, just remember that results will vary. Bye!
Bye!
Hey everyone, I want to say thank you for the reception of the first episode. I want to give a thank you for listening today. It means a lot to me, and the fact that anybody is listening is crazy. It's absolutely wild. So I just want to, again, say thank you. We have a few plugs. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We even have a YouTube page. We just released a little snippet of the first episode, one of my favorite questions we had in that episode. You can find us on Instagram at Results Will Vary Pod, where you can find the link tree and all the various updates we have. For the email, if you want to have any listener submitted questions, it is resultswillvarypod@gmail.com. If you did enjoy this podcast and you want to help it and see it grow, a rating and review on your various podcast listening platforms really does help a lot. But thank you so much for listening anyway. This show is released bi-weekly, so at time of recording, the next episode will be January 29th. So thank you again so much. You have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.